Good morning and happy Tuesday. The sun is out, probably for a whole day. We should enjoy it while we can, even though it's only 25 degrees out, Fahrenheit. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to do another one of these so soon, but something weird happened at my doctor's office yesterday that's AI related, so I figured I'd mention it. See if this has happened to you too. Kind of freaked me out, but anyway, I was there talking to my nice lovely doctor about the nice lovely do I have anemia thing we've been dealing with. Good news, I don't. Apparently the latest diagnosis is I just have a capillary that for whatever fun reason decides to leak blood every once in a while into my GI tract. But everything is fine, I'm not massively bleeding, but yeah, it's just like, hey, there's a little bit of blood for you every once in a while just to make sure you're worried about your health. Anyway, we're having the conversation and we talk through all the things and we're getting towards the end of the, wrap up. And he explains it to me again, as concluding, so that you remember stuff when you leave. And then we take a little pause, and next thing I know, the phone in my purse, which isn't all the way inside my purse, it's inside like the back flap, and it's not down past the edge of the flap, so maybe the microphone was up. But I assume Gemini, I don't know who started talking, but somebody started talking going, that's an excellent analysis! You did. And my doctor's like, wouldn't it be great if we had like a machine that followed us around all the time and just gave us positive affirmations like, you're so smart? And I'm just like, awkwardly like, I'm actually kind of spooked by that, frankly. It's not that I don't use AI for medical stuff, sir, and I guiltily admitted to looking up or using, I forget which, probably Copilot, to look up exciting, like, chart stuff, because I can't interpret my own charts. Not that someone necessarily should. I know doctors get titchy when you mention using online search, but I'm like, I just need to know what the heck these phrases mean. I can see from the, angry color in the chart that, like, they're definitely at a risk level. They're above the green, but I kind of want to know what this means. So, yeah, I do ask the AI to interpret or reframe, like, medical notes in particular, just because they're written in medicalese and I do not understand it and would like to, which I don't think is a terrible use of AI. However, once it starts talking in the middle of your medical appointment and you didn't realize you had it on because the mic is always listening, it's a little freaky because I'm like, how much medical stuff does this thing know about me? And probably everything. I do log into my chart since it's now my permanent computer since my Surface died and I threatened to repair it a couple years ago and it's still sitting there full of threats to be repaired. That's the downside of ADHD. You think you're going to do something and then you leave it in the pile. 300 years later, you might come back to it. Work-wise, I do come back to everything in my action folder eventually. Home-wise, I'm not so good at that. There's a lot of times where, like right now, trying to convince myself to get another housekeeper because it is worth the money. I don't trust people, I'm sorry. The last couple people I've let into my house have not done well by it, so kind of like better crappy housekeeping by yours truly than great housekeeping by someone that either steals from you or damages your property or both. And by the way, I'm not saying that about my past housekeeper. Other people I let in my house. My past housekeeper was okay. I just didn't want to pay $80 because she didn't clean I better than I do, so it's like, I'm going to pay that much. We're going to get a younger one who's a little more spry. I didn't say I only kept her on, but she felt like family, so I kept her on like a year, maybe 2 years longer than I probably should have. Anyway, as the AI randomly talking from your phone during a medical appointment or something else equally awkward happened to you? Because I definitely don't remember asking any questions until it spoke up, because I was just trying to retrace that just before we started driving, like, did I bring up looking up things in AI for medicine before it chimed off? And I'm like, I don't think so. Because it definitely wasn't an AI conversation until that thing woke up and was like, hey, great points! So, like, you summarized that situation really well. Like, what? Just you? Also, why are you praising my doctor? I know you're sycophantic, but you would think you'd be sycophantic to your owner and not just the other person in the room with the nice low voice. I don't know what to interpret about that there, but it was definitely a interesting, somewhat worrisome moment. And yeah, I know I just need to go in and disable the mic on everything. But like I said, I didn't say its catchphrase, which usually launches it into searching or trying to do something. Because I don't mind saying its catchphrase and making it search, although that spooks my husband out. but maybe I should just disable all that, because otherwise it'll start nattering on in meetings I don't need it to comment on. Like, hello, nobody asked your opinion, you clanker, you. Get out of here. Meanwhile, I get to top off the gas today. Yippee skippy. Just on notices that it's going from E10 to E15. No idea what that means. But my husband did give me a worried look, and I'm like, yeah, maybe we should figure out if we need to put additives into the car so that it lasts. Because this is bogus. This whole we can take away automobile features years after you've purchased it. You can turn the car on and off remotely. We can... And he's like, well, technically, according to the Constitution, we have a right to interstate travel, but they can make it as expensive as they want. And that was nice and didn't draw the analogy to, you know, the whole reproductive health situation. Like, if you want to get an abortion, yeah, you can get an abortion. Just gotta go 3 states over, find some funding. But this gas thing is nuts. Because he's acting all big like, hey, I released some out of the reserve. And it's like, yeah, you released some out of the reserve, but now you're gonna downgrade all the gas to make our machines wear out faster. Well, that don't sound right. Maybe it's a supply thing and I just don't know enough. So that's entirely probable. I'm just freaked out because, like I said, I don't need my motors to die any sooner than they're naturally going to die. Like, I'm not driving a car newer than this one, mainly because this one has one feature that drives me nuts and I wish I could disable, which is namely the auto locking. I don't know why it thinks after a certain amount of time it needs to auto lock the passenger sides and the trunk hatch. Yeah, that drives me nuts. I'm like, if there was a way I could go into your computer and disable the auto lock, that's what I would do, because I'm sorry, if I leave you unlocked, I expect you to stay unlocked, whether it's 15 minutes later or the next morning. I expect you to stay in the unlocked state. I get why you would auto lock, because those of you who are living in suburbs in the city, you probably need it to auto lock because people be messing with your stuff. Nobody messes with my stuff. That's the other like plus to driving cars that are older but not quite into the antique range. They mostly look like, you know, you don't need to mess with them. There's nothing that person has inside that car that's worth much. Which is also kind of how it is in general with my car. I used to say, feel free to break in and steal my rainbow umbrella, but then I worked at the community college and someone busted into, of all things, my Geo Metro and literally tried to use some exciting screwdrivers to pry out the cassette radio. And I'm like, I can't sell these for $5 at the yard sale, and you all wanted to try and pry it out. And I guess it took them a minute or so to realize it was a cassette player, because all I had was the damage around it that didn't actually like manage to pry it anywhere out. It was probably just a second of like, oh no, this doesn't have a CD player. This car is ancient. Like, yeah, I still have cassette tapes. It's no big deal for me, but you probably do not want to jack it, because you ain't gonna be able to sell it. Because let me tell you, I've been trying to sell it myself. Anyway, we're at work. That was my story about freaky AI.